Welcome to Super Smash Secrets, or SSS. I'm your host, Quidd. Today's character is going to be my main Pokemon trainer. So I'll begin with Squirtle. He's the beginning of the trio, and he's most known for his small size, quick speed, and great combo game. So one of the main things you'll need to know with Squirtle, immediately you need to abuse his small hurt box, his quick dash speed, and his very safe and fast hitboxes, which both come from the air and on the ground. So my two main combo starters with Squirtle are his forward air and his forward tilt. Let's begin with forward air. If you use it landing off of a short hop, you can follow up with a lot of potential combo strings. Now this could be something like a very easy landing forward air into grab, or it could be something a little more complex, such as a landing forward air into dash attack, which could follow up into more. So most of combos involving Squirtle are eventually going to end with some sort of vertical string involving his up air, which is a great combo move. It's got potential just like Mario's up air that you can use to string along, especially when there's platforms on the stage. So almost everything you do and all your combo starters are eventually going to lead into that vertical string. That's why a lot of the time as Squirtle players, we're looking to set up anywhere into a grab that we can. That's why one of my favorite combos with Squirtle is the classic landing forward into run up grab, and then you get started with your up airs. Another potential string you could use that differs a little bit from that is you could throw in the landing forward air, and if they don't get sent into tumble, you can follow up with another aerial such as a down air that could maybe follow up into a later grab. I like to use that combo a lot because it gets me some extra damage before I eventually get the grab, which could then lead to more potential strings in the future and different follow-ups to mix them up. If you ever get a grab with Squirtle, one of the safest combos to work with is the classic down throw up B. It's very easy, very good damage, and it's very consistent. It works across the entire cast and at a wide range of percents. If you're not too confident about the down throw up B, you could also go for another classic, which is the down throw up airs. It's easy to get 2 or 3, and if there were platforms involved, it could be even easier to follow up further and further using the platforms to land and restart your jump and up air strings. Now another potential combo throw with Squirtle is his up throw. Although not as widely used, it also leads into up airs very easily and could be used with platforms to create a nice vertical string. Now, my favorite other combo starter with Squirtle is his forward tilt. And you're going to use this move when you're playing on the ground a lot more. Sometimes, some characters will force you into the air, some characters will force you to play on the ground a little bit more. And in those cases, you're going to want to use Squirtle's forward tilt. It's a very quick move, it's super safe on shield, and it has a very low ending animation. And the way I like to do it, I recommend that everyone use the C stick for tilting, so you can easily spam Squirtle's F tilt in either direction and not have to worry about inputting the tilt on A first and maybe messing up with a smash attack or a dash attack. It's easier if you use the C stick like this. Now these F tilts can very easily set up into a run up dash grab. That's a true confirm on most of the cast at a fair range of percents. At later percents, it might lead into a tumble situation where you can maybe get a tech chase. This is into the grab. You can easily follow up with a down throw up B, for example. At later percents, I like to use it while I'm sliding or a pivot cancel to perhaps lead into an easier combo like this. You might need to dash forward before you do the grab, but that's okay. And at a later percent, such as 85, 90, depending on the character's weight and fall speed, of course, but I like to lead into a jab lock, which nets you an easy forward smash for the kill. And that's a great way to close out stocks with Squirtle when you don't feel too confident switching off of him and leading into the other 2 Pokemon. To close out with Squirtle, my last thing to do with him that I recommend everyone try out is RAR back air in neutral. It's more of a difficult input to master, but once you get familiar with it, it can really add a layer of mix-up to your neutral. So what you want to do is dash forward like this and quickly do a turnaround on your stick to get the input on it. It's a little bit tighter than normal, but there's a couple ways to get familiar with it, whether it be attack canceling or slingshotting or just the typical RAR. And once you have that, It'll add a more ranged and versatile option into your neutral that you can use in conjunction with Squirtle's forward air to come in many different angles from the air and put great pressure on your opponent. So now that we're through with Squirtle, let's look at Ivysaur. He's a little bit different statistically than Squirtle. He's a little slower, he's a little more heavy. This makes it very much a different style you need to employ with Ivysaur. You can't play the same fast-paced, agile game that you were playing with Squirtle. You need to focus more on proper positioning, spacing, and making sure you're getting great combos set up with your vertical strings. Ivysaur benefits a lot from his strong up air and up B that act both as combo moves and combo finishers for a kill at later percents. So one of the classic setups with Ivysaur is, of course, also off of his grab, a down throw, which can set up into easy up airs. You can usually get 2, maybe more if there's platforms involved, and you can lead into an extra double jump. That's a very easy and consistent combo you can use across the entire cast. However, it might be a little more difficult to land Ivysaur's grab in neutral. So one of the moves I like to use to add to my mix-up game is Ivysaur's back air. It has 2 hits, so it makes it a lot safer, harder to parry, and harder to add a shield punish from your opponent. And it's his safest aerial on landing and on shield, so it's the one I recommend using the most when you're playing neutral with Ivysaur. If you use his back air and fast fall it accurately after a short hop or a full hop, it can be a great pressure tool that has fantastic follow-ups at almost any percent. Some examples of this include back air into dash attack. You could also get back air into more back airs. Back air can also confirm into grab at many percents and at many characters, which nets you an easy down throw for more damage. So my last combo with Ivysaur is his back air into Vine Whip confirm that can be great for closing out stocks at high percents. Let me demonstrate that now. It's easy to get the sweet spot Vine Whip if you line it up with a nice fast fall short hop back air. Now some other things I like to do with Ivysaur are utilize his range and projectiles in neutral. So some of the ways I do that are on the ground I utilize his space down tilt, which is quick and relatively safe compared to his other ground moves. In conjunction with that, I like to use both his grounded and aerial razor leaves to mix up my opponent and prevent them from approaching very easily. You can also do a tilt input with the razor leaf if you're holding to the left already and you just press B like that, versus a smash input where you flick the stick and press B at the same time, which will send the razor leaf a little bit further and a little bit faster. It's good to have a mix-up game of both the tilt and smash input for your razor leaves to keep your opponent guessing and make it difficult for them to approach you. Now, when you're looking to close out stocks with Ivysaur, one of the easiest ways to do it is to send them off stage and get an edge guard. He can edge guard in multiple ways with both his falling there like this, or a classic that everyone is very aware of, Ivysaur's very long-reaching and powerful down air, which can look something like this. Ivysaur's down air is very strong and has a great hitbox to use both on stage over the ledge and off stage when you feel confident enough to run off. Now, inverse to his down air is his up air, which has a similarly large and powerful hitbox when used above him. This move can be great for keeping opponents in the air and sending them eventually off the top blast zone at an early percent. One of the main things you can do as Ivysaur is abuse the range he has on all of his aerials in each direction and keep your opponent at a distance to prevent them from getting close, starting an up-close situation that Ivysaur does not like and does not excel in. So I like to use more preemptive hitboxes and aerials to keep people out and make it difficult for my opponent to get in on me and approach, while also making sure that I'm throwing in a healthy mix of aggression and projectiles with my razor leaf. Last but not least, one of Ivysaur's biggest kill confirms can come off of his landing forward air, and this is obviously in conjunction with his landing back air. It creates a good mix-up game there, and it stands opposed because it's a little bit of a slower move, a little bit later of a hitbox, and you can use it well to mix up. Ivysaur's landing forward air can lead into up airs like that, or at later percents, you can lead it into a sweet spot Vine Whip for the kill, like this. And if you use it, you can watch their DI, just like with Ivysaur's down throw, and react accordingly. If they DI in, you can get up airs. And if they DI away, you could get a Vine Whip sweet spot to send them flying off the side blast zone or into the corner. Ivysaur is great at those situations where he can cover multiple different angles with his wide range of very, very long hitboxes. That comes with both his aerials like up air, forward air, and back air, and his Vine Whip up B. Now, my last thing I like to do with Ivysaur is when I'm recovering off stage, I like to use some mix-up with his Vine Whip tether cancel. And the way you can do this is after snapping to the ledge with up B, you'll be hanging like this. If you press down while you're in the tether, like this, you'll drop off. And obviously you don't want to do it like that and just fall to your death. So what I like to do right after is incorporate a jump or maybe a Pokemon switch to keep my opponent guessing and make my offstage game as mix-up and varied as possible. So you can do it multiple times and maybe incorporate other Pokemon for the recovery route. If not, you can also use it with some aggression by jumping back on with a hitbox or a projectile. And in general, that's a great way to make Ivysaur's recovery as varied as possible and make it very difficult for your opponent to both edge guard you and set up a good ledge trap situation. I'm going to move on to Charizard now, the last of the three. So, some important stats to know about Charizard. He's got the best dash speed out of the three Pokemon. He runs very fast. It's actually top 10 dash speeds in the game. And of course, he's got the strongest hitboxes and kill hitboxes especially with the heaviest weight. This makes him very good to utilize when you're at a high percent or when your opponent's at a high percent to both close out their stocks and to suspend your stock and sustain it for as long as possible. You're going to make sure with Charizard that you're playing more safe, use your shield a lot to make sure you're playing defensive and everything, but also use your dash speed to stay aggressive and put the pressure on your opponent when it's necessary. So when I'm using my dashes with Charizard, some of the options I like to incorporate are a dash up smash, which scoops them up like that, a sliding F tilt, which can also be used just like Squirtle's to add a little bit more range on your F tilt and potentially catch your opponent off guard if they were in the corner, sort of like this. And last but not least, he of course has a very threatening grab game, just like the other two, that can have both combo throws and kill throws in the same grab kit. So at a percent like this, and if I had my opponent in the corner, I would look for a Charizard forward throw to send him flying off the side. That stands opposed to if I had him below one of these platforms, where I would use an up throw to land on the platform and send him off the top. It's up to you to make that call, depending on where you are positioned on the stage, to what throw will kill early. Now at lower percents, if you land a grab with Charizard, you can use his back throw to lead into multiple combo routes. So one of my favorites that I like to do because it's very easy and simple is a back throw forward air, like that. Now, you could potentially add a little bit more damage to that by using back air instead of forward air with a roar, just like we talked about with Squirtle. But it may be a little bit more difficult, and at some percents, not the correct route to go for, or a little bit too risky. Another thing I like to go for safely is a back throw dash attack, which will work against a lot of the faster falling characters and heavier characters in the game, especially at low percents. Charizard's kit isn't very combo heavy, but what he does get a lot of the time is great advantage states started by having his opponent up in the air or stuck at ledge. So when I get my opponent stuck in the air, a lot of what I like to do involves scouting their landing with up smash, or even something like an F tilt or a back air to use my long tail to kind of control that space, prevent them from landing in a certain area, and hopefully steal the stock a little earlier. As you can see, Charizard's back air sweet spot is very strong. Now, conversely, I might get them at ledge in my advantage state, in which case I would probably try to ledge trap them with a few of Charizard's best options, including the flamethrower. Adds up some pretty free damage with that. You can also use forward tilt to cover a lot of different ledge options, including roll, neutral get up, and get up attack. And another way I like to do is to scout around this platform and hopefully bait out an aerial that you can get on the way down to send them flying back off stage and hopefully end the stock through a ledge trap. Another way Charizard likes to end stocks, which involves a little bit more defense, is with his strong out of shield options. So Charizard has both a frame 3 up smash out of shield and a frame 6 grab out of shield that he can both utilize to prevent his opponent from unsafely hitting his shield, and if they choose to, he can net stocks off of it. His up smash is very strong and very quick, But if you feel the need to go for something a little bit stronger and your opponent uses a little bit more lag of an option, you can also use his up B out of shield to do a little bit more damage and get a little bit more strength on that kill option. But in general, if you're at high percent and your opponent's at high percent, it's going to be in your best interest to hold shield as Charizard and look for out of shield options, because his out of shield options are so strong and so consistent. Outside of that, I like to abuse Charizard's dash speed, put the pressure on my opponent with quick landing aerials and dash attacks, sliding F tilts, and then use my flamethrower to pressure their shield and push them into the corner, where I can hopefully secure a stock with a ledge trap, corner pressure, or some advantage state. Lastly, I'd like to talk about one of my iconic and patented combos and one of my favorite options to use with Ivysaur. And this is, of course, his down air through the platform, which could lead into a lot of potential follow-ups that I'm sure people at this point have recognized me for when I play. This is an option I like to go for a lot in tournament sets. I find the down air to be very safe, and it's great pressure you can add to your opponent on their shield. And if you hit it, you can potentially set it up into both aerials and grounded kill confirms. So one of the classics that I like to do is Ivysaur's down air onto the platform into an up air. So if my down air sends them high up, I can drop through with the up air right after landing on the platform and get an easy kill confirm that works on most of the cast at most percent after 100. And the higher percent they are, the easier the combo gets. Outside of that, if you don't feel too confident about the input, or you think you want to go for something a little more mix-up heavy, one thing I definitely recommend is looking for a tech chase on the ground with Ivysaur's Razor Leaf, which could look something like this, which could then potentially confirm or kill confirm into an up B or an up air with Ivysaur. Kind of like that. That can work depending on if you throw it to the left or the right. You can catch them not teching on the ground or teching in a certain direction and hopefully secure the stock that way. I like using Ivysaur's down air through the platform because it also allows me to then drop through with more aerials like up air, back air, and get a lot of quick pressure started that way. I think a lot of people tend to use Ivysaur's projectile game a little bit too leniently in neutral, whereas if you can add this to your mix-up game, it will really make a difference, and you'll find a lot of success with your hitboxes in pressuring your opponent, controlling space around and under the platforms, and preventing them from getting out of the corner, getting to an up-close situation with you, and getting back from the ledge. It's great pressure to institute into your gameplay, and I recommend that everyone takes the time to add some Ivysaur platform movement into their style and get very quick and smooth with it. And now, let's play versus with a friend. And now, at these low percents, I'm gonna look for my true combo starters, my landing forward airs, and my Squirtle F tilts. See how I can get those vertical strings with my up air, and then use water gun to push him further off stage, prevent him from recovering. It's always good to have a full water gun charge in case the opportunity presents itself to get an edge guard with it. Then I'm gonna get landing fair into grab. And here I see the opportunity to get some up air strings started on the platform, so I went for Squirtle's up throw instead of his down throw. I'm gonna switch to some Ivysaur. I'm gonna try to space him out a little bit with these Razor Leaves, keep him at a distance. It's a nice way to get some easy percent. And then I'm gonna get my classic back air into dash attack. And at these percents, hopefully I'm gonna be looking for some sort of grab in the corner or some sort of thing I can do to push him off stage to hopefully close out a stock with Ivysaur. Dr. Mario, not very fast, and he's got pretty stubby, small hitboxes, so it can be pretty easy for Ivysaur to sort of just space around him with these back airs and Razor Leaves. It's a nice little core you can use as your neutral. In general, it makes it difficult for Dr. Mario to get in and get many approaches started, which can happen to a lot of characters against Ivysaur. Now at these percents, hopefully I'm gonna get some sort of kill confirm with Ivysaur. There I got my down throw up air. Wasn't enough to kill, but luckily I can follow up the juggle with another up air to secure the stock. Now I'll start a Charizard. Use my dash speed to put the pressure on him. Get an easy back throw dash attack at low percents. And that back air sent him so far, it's hard for Doc to recover from that angle. If he's ever above me and using the platforms in those circumstances, I can easily use my L smashes to sort of track hit the space, prevent him from staying on those platforms. Of course, Charizard with 2 double jumps, it's much easier to recover back to the stage and to get out of situations that otherwise might be disadvantaged. I'll use my flamethrower there to beat out the pills. And here, I see I can send him off stage with something, and I can secure an edge guard. Charizard is not too scary to go off stage, given that he has an extra jump and a pretty nice vertical up B that covers a lot of distance. Both with Ivy and Zard, don't be afraid to go off stage and edge guard with some drop down nairs, drop down forward airs, and of course down airs, spikes if you can set up for that. Samus, a little floatier, a little heavier than Dr. Mario, so I'm gonna slightly change up my approach here, especially with my combo routes. Squirtle, it's very easy to get some nice vertical down throw up air combos started or dash attack into up airs like this. End it off with a nair or an up B, some easy percent. And this is a character that's very valuable to keep her up in the air for as long as possible because of how floaty she is and how long it takes her to fall. It's very easy to keep her in disadvantage up there. Maybe I'll push him off stage and get an edge guard. But if I send him up into the air, I know it takes a while for Samus to get down, and I'm gonna look for one of those big Ivy up airs. And there I saw an opportunity to get a throw in the corner. Charizard can be good in those spots to secure a ledge trap on Samus. She's not too great off the ledge and coming back to the stage due to her floatiness and her kind of big hurt box. So a lot of the time I like to trap her there, keep her so I can rack up easy damage and maybe secure a kill. And Rob a little bit bigger, a little heavier even than a character like Samus. So he might be true kind of combo food for a lot of these Squirtle hits. It's very easy to get nice clean combos like that racked up. I saw the opportunity to get a short hop down air, maybe reset the situation with like a dash attack into up airs or grab into up airs. Here I'm getting my up airs started. And if there's any chance to hopefully push him off stage, we'll see how we can use Squirtle's water gun to push him further, and then hopefully get an edge guard with Ivysaur that could involve maybe nairs, a vine whip high up, or a down air if he decides to go low. In that spot, I saw an opportunity for an Ivy down air. He was low down and he doesn't have a hitbox on the way up, so it's pretty consistent to go for. Get my back air dash attack. Get my down throw up air. These kind of bread and butters can work really well for Ivysaur, kind of keep your opponent in disadvantage. My back airs. Didn't get the vine whip that time, but it's okay. And now at this percent, you might start scouting for a classic down air combo through the platform. Of course, make sure to not only incorporate that in neutral, but other things too. But once I saw the opportunity, I took it. Got the sweet spot down air, leads into an easy up air for the kill. And now I'm gonna switch back to Squirtle, seeing that he's low percents, and it's probably best to go for some of these early percent combos. Squirtle has the most varied options with that and also has the easiest neutral to get in. So this time I'll get grabbed, and it's some easy up airs. There I go for my landing forward into some raw back airs, right? A little more advanced, like we talked about, but definitely something to learn. It's good percent, and it pushes them right off the level. And in that situation, I saw he was at the perfect percent for an F-tilt check chase with Squirtle. So I went for a few F-tilts, used them sliding so I would have a little more momentum carried through. And he didn't tech, so I was able to get the jab block into an easy F-smash for the kill. That wraps it up. We'll see you next time on SSS. I'm Quidd, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time with some other characters.